Hello, hola, konnichiwa, ni hao, namaste. Welcome to the Junkie Jungle series. Let's begin. We are the Junkie Jungle doctors, and here we are to showcase the troubles of our patients caused by inhumans. So these are some of our patients, and they've got so many troubles. Few of them are trapped in nets, some of them have lost their shells, some of them got their neck stuck. They are feeling so uncomfortable right now. So let's come and look at us to find a solution for this particular problem. I guess you could come with us and see what are the solutions that we would offer. So our topic would be the wildlife and plastic, a critical analysis. All the three of us would be indulging in based on this research. So as you could see, wildlife has come in contact with waste and it has been a risky factor to their lifestyle. About 14,000 animals have consumed the debris which would be filled with plastics, broken glass, nets, a lot of other stuffs that could cause harm to them. So the issue of litter. We use glass bottles, metal jars, paper, cardboards, and there are different kinds of litter both present in the metropolitan and the rural areas. Trash threatens to wildlife. So when we are using such stuff, we are not disposing them off properly. So the fishing lines, the broken glass would all cause damage to the reptiles, animals, wherever they find them. So, as far as the objectives of this research, it would be of threefold. First, to understand the cause and effect relationship between wildlife and waste. Second, to analyze the social legal issues in complaints to the existing scenario. And finally, to highlight the ambiguities and suggest some reformative measures. Hmm. So, the research is based upon 21 research papers that we have seen and looked upon. So, as you could see in this paper, the transboundary movement of plastic litter happens to be a major concern, and they would be finding some reusable plastics for the future. The second paper that we could see is the single use plastic, which makes about 26 to 36 percentage of the whole usage, and what are the alternatives that could be considered in order to reduce such plastic pollution. So let's move on to the sources of the waste as a threat to wildlife. So the first one primarily being the general municipal waste, that the waste that has been generated by the human beings at their homes. For example, the cigarette butts that could cause a lot of harm to the animals, the fishing lines and the hooks. So these being the sharp aspect, they have to be cut down and carefully disposed of. Soft drinks, and they are made up of metals, and when they're thrown off, the metal rings of these jars could get caught in the bird's feet and it could cause a lot of harm. Styrofoam. Where do we use styrofoam? In food packaging. So when we use that and just throw away, the remains of the food attracts the animals and they would eat the food, all remains of the food along with the styrofoam. Oh, what do you see there? Chewable gum? Yes. This is also causing hindrance to the animal's development. Next, balloons. Who would have thought of that? Happy birthday, guys! But they also cause harm to animals. So they are not made up of biodegradable substances. So they are always ends up in landfills and remains there. Next is the metal. So the metal uh, any products would also remain non biodegradable in nature, and the glass that we use frequently is a harm to the animals because they consume it along with the food particles. Sources of the waste and how they cause a threat to wildlife. Paper. Paper happens to be a choking hazard for animals because they end up eating it as it present in the waste bin. Toxic hazardous waste. So whatever chemicals, poisons that has been present within the plastic, when they ingest it, it causes a harm to their stomach and other organs. The plastic material. The plastic material which we dump across the oceans and everywhere is a harm to both wildlife and the aquatic animals. So the effect and impact of plastic landfills serving as a bait to these animals. So as you could see, 33% of the food that we produce internationally ends up in landfills. and the waste dumps that has been producing has caused a impact on the wildlife's lifestyle and our ecosystem on the whole. The effects of plastic. Plastic has a component of microplastics which happens to be very small pieces, but they also pollute the environment. About 80 to 90 percentage of these plastics contain in this sewage and it persists in the sludge. So what happens when these animals persist on such matters? They end up digesting the whole thing, and it could cause a lot of intestinal blockages, and it is considered to be fatal to these animals. So animals and waste. So I'll give you a few examples of how this has caused a great harm to the wildlife on the whole. About 98% of the albatross have ingested the plastic. A duck-billed platypus has been strangled to death by hair tie. In Japan's most famous Nara Park deer has been killed due to plastic litter. The camels that are present in the Arabic Peninsula region has ingested plastic because when there's huge wind over there, the dust, along with the dust sand, plastic also moves across, and it causes harm to them. An Indian elephant was been killed by eating plastic shopping bags. In the year of 2018, a reindeer in Norway was killed by abandoned fishing nets, and in Zimbabwe, 8 African elephants in the year of 2016 died after eating plastic bread bags. So these are some of the hindrances that has been caused due to plastic pollution, which were leading to the death of these wildlife animals. So plastic in wildlife. So how does it happen? Firstly, they are moved across mobility, and due to starvation, they end up eating these things. And once they eat it, they could cause a lot of indigestion problems within the animals, or these things could get caught around within their arms, limbs, their necks, and when it gets entangled, and if there's not a good Samaritan to help them out, they're probably going to die, guys. So these are some of the effects. Now let's see the causes of plastics on wildlife. How does it kill? As we've been discussed, these jagged plastics get stuck in their throat, and that's how it kills them most in the most occurrences. Sometimes it get caught in their antlers, and they cannot move. So when they're unable to find food or water, they usually end up dying. So this is considered to be a death threat. Plastics have chemicals in them, and this triggers them to have the food that is present within the plastics. So they mistake the plastic bags and the balloon ribbons, and they end up consuming it on the whole. So that's how it is being treated as a death threat to these animals. So wildlife encounters. There are so many wildlife encounters regarding the plastic pollution. So there has been a demise of a 6-year-old male tiger. Wild elephants have consumed it. Samba deer has been found to be dead. Tigers have ingested these from the dump yard, and an enlarged body of the tiger has been found because of the consumption of plastic. So what are the consequences? There has been intestinal blockages in the animal. The plastic has been wrapped around the bucks of the antlers. The plastic soda rings are being found around the wings of the birds. Plastic on the whole itself causes wound to the animals and results in the loss of limbs. So as you could see, all of this are being wherein the animals have approached in and eaten the stuff out along with the plastics. But in case of national parks, these animals have been protected. So how does they consume the plastic within these regions? So they, as you could see, there's an ecological shift that has been observed. The animals are more dependent on the anthropological waste, that is the waste that we dump, and without proper disposal mechanisms. So this causes an ulceration of the stomach, reduces their fitness, growth problems occurs, and even premature death. And the plastic packets, aluminum foils, food packets are all being discarded by the tourists hereby in the within the national parks area. So there has to be even stricter laws within the national parks area. So as you could be seen, these are some of the causes and effects of plastic pollution.
Many land based animals, including elephants, zebras, tigers, camels, cattle, and other large mammals.
Next, we are going to look into the topic how this US is protecting the wildlife over the usage of plastic and other solid waste. As for the US is considered, there are certain conservation laws such as Endangered Species Act 1973, Marine Mammal Protection Act 1972, Multinational Species Conservation Acts. So there are other certain conservation laws too to protect the endangered species and the wildlife and their habitats. The US also established the Environmental Protection Agency in the year of 1970, and it has the responsibility of maintaining and enforcing the national state under the national standards under the variety of national laws in consult with the state tribunals and other local bodies. Next, we are going to speak on the states which has banned zero plastic usage, in which there are nearly 80 states are trying to follow this rule, to follow this principle, but nearly 8 states actually imposed it and they have succeeded, in which the California has become the first to enact this legislation where it has banned the single use plastic bags. And next point is about the RCRA, that is the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act. It is a public law, and it is created to have a it is created with the framework for the proper management of hazardous and non-hazardous solid waste. And next is the Plastic Pollution Act of 2020, and the objective of this act is to protect our communities and the wildlife over the plastic pollution crisis. And next, we are gonna speak on the topic how the legislative provisions in India is protecting the wildlife over the plastic and other solid waste. So, in our country, waste management is actually governed by the Ministry of Environment, Forest, and Climate Change, and it works together with the State Pollution Control Board to control the pollutions and protect the environment. So, the first act that we are going to discuss is the Environmental Protection Act. This act is enacted in the year 1986, and the aim of the act is to protect the environment and the wildlife. Section 7 of this act places a principal prohibition on harming the environment by stating that no person can carry any activity that is polluting the environment. Next is the section 9 of this act states that no person can conduct an foreseen or unforeseen event, and if at all the person is conducting and he is made liable for the harm, and he is bound to prevent the environment from such harm. So it's like a polluter's pay principle. Next act that we are going to look into is the Hazardous Waste Management Handling and Transboundary Movement Rule of 2008. In this rule, the occupier is the person. Let me say actually who is occupier. The occupier is the person who charged there is a plant or unit or factory producing hazardous waste from their manufacturing. So the occupier must sell or send this hazardous waste for the recycling or reprocedure purpose in a safer manner, or he has to dispose the waste in a safer manner, has is not polluting the environment and not harming to any wildlife or any species. So in this rule, it has also stated the occupier can store the waste only for 90 days, and if at all he want to sell or transfer this hazardous waste, he has to obtain a valid registration form from the Central Pollution Control Board. And next we are going to speak on the rule, the Plastic Waste Management and Handling Rule of 2011. In this rule, Rule 9 makes a makes a compulsory principle for the every manufacturer of plastics that the manufacturer should obtain the production and recycle uh, for the production and recycle purpose, the manufacturer must obtain a registration form from the state pollution control board, and this registration is valid only for 3 years. After 3 years, he is for every 3 years he has to renew that registration. Whereas under Rule 10 of this act says that no retailer is allowed to provide plastic bags for free of cost to the consumer or to any person. Next come is the biomedical waste management and handling rule of 1998. In this, it has stated that the biomedical waste cannot be kept stored beyond 48 hours without being treated. So in order to treat this biomedical waste, the occupier, the person who is having this, like holding this or stored this biomedical waste, has to get authentication from the state pollution control board to treat it and to recycle or dispose it in a proper manner. Next is the plastic manufacturer usage and waste management rule of 2009, in which it has stated that there are certain in which in this rule it has clearly explained that what are the conditions and in what way the plastic should be manufactured, sold, or the stock can be kept in the warehouse, and in what way it should be distributed, and the person who is using it, there are certain methods even to use the plastics. So it has been clearly defined in this act how the plastics should be used, manufactured, disposed, etc. And last come is the solid waste management rule of 2016. In this rule, it has explained regarding the how the solid waste can be managed, how it should be disposed, in what way it should be, in what are the ways it can be recycled. So these are the rules and acts that in India we are following in order to reduce the usage of plastic and solid waste and to dispose it in order to protect the wildlife.
Oh wow, that was a great insight. Just like humans, animals do have their own rights. Just because they can't speak or can't convey anything doesn't mean that they are deprived of their rights. So, speaking about justice in their point of view, here goes the case laws that help them attain by creating great laws and restricting the humans. Yes, you heard it right, restricting the humans. Let's see a quick summary of each case. Naveen Chandra Pant and another versus State of Udagan and others. In this particular case, it was about the illegal mining activities in the forest areas. So the mining activities that caused pollution was observed by the plants, and the plants was in turn consumed by the animals. The animals were affected at a larger rate, and the death rates were increasing in the particular area. So the court judged that the particular mining site should be shut down, and they were penalized because of their illegal activity. The next case is Chennai Non-Woven Private Limited versus State of Tamil Nadu. In this particular case, the government came to the knowledge that the plastic usage is at a higher risk among the humans, because any material you take, there is a use of plastic. So when the survey was conducted, it was taken that the animals usually mistake the particular plastic as their food and they consume it, especially the domestic animals like dogs, buffaloes, and cows. They found large quantities of plastic in their stomachs, and many animals were dead, and this caused a biological dysfunction among them. The next one is Sukhu Vihar Residents Welfare Association and others, which is state of NCT and Delhi. In this particular case, it was about the landfills that were set up by the humans. You have a huge amount of waste, go throw it somewhere. That's your mentality, right? That's not how it works. the huge amount of landfills and the dump yards that we used to like dump each and every day is is a form of bait for the animals, as we have discussed earlier. It is one of the form of bait for the animals, because they think that, oh wow, that there is a huge amount of food present there. This is not how it works. Let's see how it works in the remedies. The next solution will be discussed. So the next case is Jaswinder Kaur versus Union of India. In this particular case, it was about the use of the plastic pollution that were at a higher risk, as I discussed above. So this is basically where like campsites and other tourist places where actually the human beings cause it, because they are the ones who visit the particular places, because the nature is at its best. And because of this particular case, there was a rule that was framed out, which is municipal solid waste management and handling rules of 2000. So this particular rules had a greater extent and impact among the humans, because they were because the court based on this rule started penalizing the humans. Yes, when it comes to us, we think right, not the other animals. So this was the major case, and the wildlife was actually taken care in this particular case. So the next is Indian Council for Enviro Legal Action. This is National Ganga River Basin. We all know that Ganga project still is prevailing, and it has not been cleared, and still there are huge amount of population population that is present, and population that is causing a pollution. So in this particular case, what happened was, there were huge amount of animals that started consuming the Ganga water. The Ganga water, yes, they are thirsty and they want to drink water, and it was caused, and a great harm was caused for their health itself. So in this particular thing, they wanted to clear the Ganga water by through Ganga projects, and I think it's still at process. And the next case is, I don't want to discuss more about that. And the next is Maharashtra Plastic Manufacturers Association and others versus state of Maharashtra. So this particular case, it was about the area in Maharashtra, especially the Mumbai and Thane, where they tried to ban plastic bags, and this is where the thing started. And the majorly they just saw a great change in 1 month, because there was a huge amount of changes that happened among the animals itself. The animals no longer consumed plastics, because it was no longer present in the dustbins. That's the reason. So the next case is Karuna Society for Animals and Nature and Others versus Union of India. In this particular case, it was about the Section 5 of the Environmental Protection Act, which mainly discuss about the disposal of plastic bags in all the municipalities and municipal corporations, provided that animal shelters and any kind of rescue homes you have, they were trying to establish a form where the animals could be protected. So this was a major step taken in this particular case, and yes, NGT was into them. And the next, speaking about the case laws is fine, but do you think we can actually solve these problems by some or the other way? Yes, we could. We could from our homes. Let's move on to remedial measures. As we all know, we think that there's a common there's a common principle called reuse and recycle. That could be done, but yes, I'll be discussing the point. But before that, can we see what are the things that could be done from our home itself by us? Yes, just by contributing a little amount of money, or with no contribution at all. Yes, no contribution at all, it is possible. So the first one is theory of alternative. Theory of alternative. What do you think of theory of alternative? It is nothing but, you have a dump yard. Okay, you have a dustbin near your area. So when you have a dustbin near your area, usually the domestic animals come and consume their food from that particular dustbin only, and that in turn causes a great amount of harm to them. So theory of alternative is nothing but, when you keep a separate dustbin for them, not in a kind of dustbin sense, but maybe something that's different, like maybe a container that could help them eat. So what is present in that particular container is that whatever waste that we take out from our kitchen, it may be vegetable waste, or it may be anything. It may be a waste for us, but it is a food for them. So instead of throwing off the kitchen waste in the particular dustbin, I think the container could help them to consume those waste, and they won't approach the dustbins, because I have a solution that the dustbin that they will not. You'll actually you'll get a question that how will they not approach the dustbins when this particular thing is there? Yes, they will eat this particular from this particular container, but I also have a solution that they will not approach the particular dustbin. Now, scare away posters. Yes, you can stick on scare away posters on the particular dustbin present near the container, or the container could be kept somewhere away and the dustbin could be kept somewhere away. I guess that won't work, but yeah, I think both should be kept together. So keeping it together, the use of posters and the use of fragrances that like spraying ammonia in the particular dustbin will help the animals stay away. The next is use of heavy trash bins. Usually, dogs used to open the particular trash bin. They either fall in them or they just because they need food. So when you have heavy trash bins and the heavy trash list, they can't even open the particular lid. So next is wash out the food waste containers. Nothing. You order something in Zomato, whatever thing is. I'm not trying to promote Zomato over here, but the thing is, whatever kind of the food website that you order, you eat, and you just throw the plastic away. Why? You can just wash it off. You try to plant a tree in the particular thing, or any kind that could be recycled. Okay, so if that is not possible by you, at least wash out the particular container that you are eating and throw it away, so that the animals are not attracted to the particular thing. After all, you're not keeping a food for them, but something that is poisonous to them. If you are ready to keep a poison, then do it, I guess. Then next is construct a trash enclosure. So having a trash enclosure where only the humans can enter. This might be like a fences that we can see. I think this will be helpful. A separate trash enclosure where the animals cannot enter can be used. And the next is repairing your damaged bins and holes or whatever it is. The next is hatchery waste. This is something that I came across, and they have found this as the scientists have found that this is a great way to avoid such things. So hatchery waste is nothing but the rotten eggs or any kind of egg waste. If the egg has been damaged or something like that, you can just throw it on in your dustbin, because that kind of rotten waste or the pungent smell makes the animals to stay away from the particular place. Do you think this is costly? You eat egg every day. Okay, the ones who don't eat the consume eggs, like the ones who are vegetarians. I guess you can follow the other methods maybe. So the ones who consume, or you can actually buy an egg, break it, and put it in the dustbin so that the animals actually stay away, because it's a matter of life there. The next is it is actually eco-friendly, and also it is a good fertilizer too, and I guess that will make the animals stay away. And the next is the common concept of reuse, recycle. I don't know how many of them reuse and recycle, but I guess when you can't reuse and recycle, the above methods could be used by you. Using animal proof waste containers, nothing but the something that is like the heavy trash bins and something like that, that's caraway posters, the fragrances, that is something, the animal proof containers that the animals could stay away. Next is cutting down on packaging waste. So you can see that I have come across the ones who are actually having some small businesses. They use a large amount of eco-friendly materials. To be frank, I'm maybe you can think that I'm supporting them. Yes, I am supporting them, because that's a good way of starting a change than getting attracted to a plastic made product. I guess this is something that has to be taken into account, because we have a good generation of the future to come. So yeah, this is one of the other remedial measures. So I guess from your home to start, you can start with having the vegetable waste or any kind of kitchen waste in these separate containers for the for the particular animals of your society. So the I think by these remedial measures, you could go approach your society and discuss about these, because a change has to be made by humans only, and help the animals, because the conclusion goes like humans and animals together can only make a change, and they should be indispensable together. I mean, like, one person's contribution can't make a huge change. A teamwork does, I guess. And not I guess, yes, it is actually. So, moving on to the conclusion, this is what I would like to tell. Have a make a change at your home. The individual's perspective and the individual who takes steps does a major change. You start from your home, and it moves on to your society, and then it moves on to something a greater area, and then it moves on to a global platform, something that could be brought in the government pictures, and this could be made mandatory. So yeah, the if nothing you do, then I guess you will be the baits next, because the animals are ready to attack you. Because the one principle, precautionary principle, could be taken, and the next is pollitus pay. Be ready to follow the pollitus pay principle, and as you are the accused here. So yeah, this is how we'd like to conclude by telling that the to have a sustainable form at a longer term of effect, I think we should work on together as like towards the animals and also the humans working together. So hope we are going to help the animals by making a major change and not any other form of thing. You could see this. You could see this. I guess why do you have to see in the particular video? You go stand in your balcony. You can see this particular thing happening. A dog consuming or a cow consuming your waste. So yeah, hey, got you. That was a good set of solution, but hoping the humans abide than serving us a bad bait. For a better ecosystem in the future, we must work together. Hashtag save us from trash. Hashtag let humanity prevail. I guess it's as simple as that. If this continues with no change, soon humans will be our tasty baits. Guys, be ready or make a change. Goodbye from the junkie jungle. Hashtag let us live peacefully. And I thank each of my viewers that they clicked upon the Junkie Jungle series and not any other series of Netflix. Okay, okay, fine. You can go Netflix and chill, but before that, make a change. Go to your kitchen, just go find your vegetable waste or any kind of waste that could act that you think is a waste for you and you can't consume, and that an animal could consume and the animal could be fed, or just go feed an animal by keeping a separate container near your society. As a society, as an individual, you can actually make a change. So I guess there is some good insight from this particular video, and if you like this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. So bye bye, bye adios, cheers and vielen Dank.